guys, I'm Liz. I'm a maker. I like to knit, crochet, cross stitch, felt, spin, sew, quilt, and anything else I like to I dabble in. So, and yes, my cheeks are very red. I did a little workouty thing, so I'm not ill. So first, I think we're just gonna go right into, let's talk about a finished object. So I have actually 3 finished objects, but they're all from the same pattern, so that's why we're gonna talk about these guys. So I'm gonna grab this guy first. This is Toadstool Paul. And the pattern is, I need to check this here. The pattern is, of course, Toadstool Paul by Lally Lala. L-A-L-Y-L-A-L-A. The artist is actually Linda Tresselt. She has a Facebook page. And she has a website, and I'm pretty sure you can get the patterns on Etsy and Ravelry. But for sure she has her website and stuff. I bought the patterns quite a while back, so can't quite recall which place I got them. Alright, so I just followed the pattern for this guy, but I used number 10 cotton thread, and I used a size, let's see, was it 7? Yeah, size 7 steel crochet hook, and I used, that's pretty much what I used. So for the most part, I just followed the pattern all the way through for making this guy, for this one. So the only thing I did a little different is, instead of just sewing his arm on, I put buttons on each side and made his arms movable. Not necessary, but I experimented and did it anyway. So he has movable arms and legs, but for the reason for this guy is a little bit different. So I made this for my daughter for Christmas one year. I've technically made him twice. So what happened is I gave it to her and she left it on the floor, and at the time our yellow lab Vaughn was under 1 year old. She wasn't supervising him in her room, and he ate Paul. So he mangled the body, parts were missing. Later, just heads up, he vomited it up, so he didn't have problems. So he threw up, poor Paul. So the only thing that was left undamaged was his hat. By the way, the hat comes off. So the hat wasn't damaged, and his arms were pretty good. There was a little damage right here on his arm. You can't even see that. I can, but yeah, a little bit right there, but not enough to. So I didn't recrochet the arms. I just reknit up a body. That's why his hat is a little loose on this guy, because he was originally a different Paul. So I crocheted him. Sorry, don't know why I'm going back and forth. I recrocheted him and reattached the arms, put his hat back on, and I gave it to her for another Christmas. So it seemed fitting to show this particular Paul today, because we're in the month of Christmas. Alright, so then I made Paul a little friend. Now, I followed the pattern on this one. For the body and the head and everything, I just followed the pattern. I just used, you can see a size difference. not much, but a little bit. I just used a slightly smaller hook size and just made this one slightly smaller and stuff. So the hat, you'd see the mushroom. All I did is when I got to a certain row, I just didn't follow the instructions to decrease. I just kept making some and then decreased a little bit, and just so I extended it and make the tops a little different. So, and then I made it a little bit of clothes. I just free-handed it. I can't even tell you what I did. I just made ribbing and used different stitches. It's nothing fancy. It's just, and then that's it. And then this one, I made her arms movable too, but I didn't use buttons. I just did thread to throw it in. So just adding a little bit of clothes to it just changes it a little bit. And you can just change a little bit of shaping for your hat, but there's that one. And then this one, I followed the pattern and I just sewed down the arms like it said. I haven't given it eyeballs and stuff yet. But yeah, so their little hats come off. Really cute. Anyway, so yeah, these are the Toadstool Pauls. And like I said, I still need to give this one eyeballs. Anyways, her patterns are absolutely fabulous, easy to follow. It's single crochet. It's in the round, circular, connecting things. She's really easy to understand. It's hard to say if I would call it beginner. I don't know. You have to bear in mind, I've been crocheting. I started when I was 9. Got proficient when I was probably about 19. And I've been doing it ever since. So that's a lot of years of practicing crochet. So definitely recommend any of her patterns. She has way more than this. I'll show you more later, but not today. But she has a ton of patterns, tons. She does bugs, all kinds of things. So I definitely recommend her to you. Okay, so that covers them and her patterns. I'm not going to show you my blanket. I did probably about 4 rows. I think I did 4 rows on it. See, it's right here. And I keep it out right here because this is my working space. This is where I work and listen to my podcast. But if I put it away in a bag, it's really easy for me to, like, I don't want to dig it out or whatever. So leave whatever you're working on in a space in which it's easily accessed for you. Otherwise, you're not going to work on it. Just not. Because you're going to be like, I don't feel like getting up. Oh, I have to dig that out. Ew. So don't do it to yourself. Okay, next. Socks. The socks that I started last week in my Lala Lolly bag. I don't even know if I say that right, but all right, here they are. Excuse me. So I just finished the socks and restarted working them in the round. So the bottom of my foot's done. My heel is done. And I'm gonna tell myself, I did a really sloppy job. I don't know what I was doing. Don't work on things tired. I was like, I'm gonna get the sock done before I go to bed. So I think I got these done at like the sock heels maybe at midnight. Anyways, maybe I'll show them to you. I don't know if you'll see them. But golly, I did them like so sloppy. But they're for me. They fit, and I'm not concerned. They're going to hold up. I'm going to be able to wear these socks a long time. So now I'm just going to be doing, because I increase a little bit here in this area for myself, just to give my heel and ankle space. So now I add an extra 10 stitches. So now I have to decrease every other row till those 10 stitches are gone, and I'm back to my 64 stitches for my ankle, my cuff. So here's the deal. This is going to be my second color work I've ever done. So it could go two ways. I'm going to put these back in here. It could go two ways. I can do it and it looks great and I keep them and I have a pair of really cool color work socks. Or they could look terrible and I pull them back out and just do a normal sock because I'm not happy with whatever's going on. So either way, I'll try to get them done this coming week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but it's a goal. Try to get it done this coming week. And I guess I'll surprise you and me with whatever happens. Either way, I'm going to have a pair of socks eventually. All right. So, and those are knit on 2.5 millimeter and size 1.5 shy goo. All right, let's see. Looking at my notes here. So also socks. I've knit my son 2 pairs of socks, and if I hold up a pair of store-bought socks and a pair of socks that I made him, he always picks the socks I made him, and he only has 2. So I asked him, I said, hey, do you want more socks? And he goes, do you want mom to make you more socks? And he says, yes. So what I do is I lay out all my sock yarn for him, and I say, hey, come and pick a color. You pick your colors and I'll make you socks. So I'll have to dig out my socks and have him pick out some colors. So far both have been blue, like, yeah, they're both in the blue range, so I don't know what he'll pick, but so I see a pair of size 11 socks in my future. I don't believe I'm going to get them done 11 days before Christmas. I mean, I'd have to just stop everything and just focus, because I also have to work, I have PT, I have all kinds of stuff. So, socks for my kiddo, my big giant, is what I'm going to be doing. So, and, okay. So, just so we know, the last couple weeks have been super busy. Been taking medication classes and at the college and stuff, and so those are long classes. There are only a couple of them, but they're like 4.5 hours long. And then I had to do a CPR class, which was 5 hours of CPR and first aid. And then I had to have it's not shoulder surgery. It's basically they numb your shoulder. They do an injection in your shoulder. Some people, they sedate for it. They didn't have to sedate me for mine. And they put saline in it until it expands. And it causes the scar tissue to pull apart so that you can move. And check it out, guys. I'm doing physical therapy, but right after, I can lift my arm up. I mean, it's not, like I should be able to still, but I was like locked here, and I'm already like up, and I can put my arm way up here. Anyway, so hopefully through physical therapy and after that and physical therapy, I'll be able to have a much wider range of motion. But anyway, so that's been taking up a lot of my time. It's a long story to tell you. It's been taking up a lot of my time for making things. So let's talk about spinning. So far, I crochet, I knit, I, I run through them all. So right now, spinning. This is my spinning wheel. So this is an Ashford, and this is not. It's a This was a single drive, but I changed the mother on it, and it is a double drive. I prefer the double drive. Here, let's see. So the brake band, if no one knows, the brake band and the wheel band are the same band. So it just goes to the bobbin, and anyways, I prefer this setup. So I just changed the heads on it, and that's how I spin. So how do I want to start this? So let's start with, my daughter also spins. Her stuff was here and she had moved. We went down to where she lives, and I brought her spinning wheel and her stuff, which means all the things that we shared together to use means one of us doesn't have that thing. So example, Nitty Naughty, we shared a Nitty Naughty. So currently it's the Nitty Naughty is sitting here, and it's her Nitty Naughty, but I use it too. And so I have had to order both of us things so that she can have it there with her and I can have one here with me. So since we can no longer share. So I have on order 2 bobbins for mine. I have on order a Nitty Naughty, and something that doesn't have to do. I ordered her a new drop spindle for Christmas. She has one of those chunky ones that people go, oh, this is for learners. Giving a learner bad equipment makes them think that they can't do it because their equipment stinks. Please get yourself a nice spindle or a nice something to use. I don't care what it is, needles, any equipment. Get yourself something that's nice. Research what people prefer, because the better the equipment, the smoother and nicer your experience is going to be. So many people quit doing stuff because their equipment sucks. I used to think I sucked at sewing. It turns out my sewing machine that I was learning on was horrendous. So I thought I couldn't sew. The sewing machine was terrible. So make sure you get equipment that works for you, because otherwise you're going to get frustrated and you're going to want to throw it in a burn pile and never do it again. Okay. So I do have, and then I want to try a Turkish spindle. So I have that on order. And by the way, my daughter's is going to look something like this when it comes in. I found this is a pretty smooth one. I got it off of Amazon. I can't tell you anything beyond that. It was about $35. So I would say that's not overly expensive to get. Way cheaper than a wheel. And then I also ordered myself a Swift. Cannot tell you how I've been doing hanks of yarn. So I've been having to lay them on the back of a chair and slowly undo them so they don't get all tangled. It is a pain. So I'm like, I just put out for a Swift. It's coming. So this is, that pretty much spends the little Christmas budget that I had. And I didn't go all out and get super expensive stuff. So there's low range, mid range, high range. I was kind of somewhere in the middle of low range, mid range. Okay, so that sounded tangency. It felt tangency. Okay, so I had to get my daughter's stuff ready, and she left on the bobbin. So this is kind of a my daughter, myself thing. She had left the single ply of some yak she spun up on the bobbin. And I was like, I gotta get it off. So I plied it for her. So she had overspun it a little bit, but I got it worked out. So here's where it's important. My daughter does not crochet, knit, or any of the yarny things. She loves to spin. So she just basically spins and makes yarn and doesn't use it. So I get to make her stuff with the yarn, or she gives it to people she knows likes to make things. So I did this yak. The next thing I got to do is try to salvage. You can see a little breakage there. Her singles here. This kid, look how thin this kid spins. That's a thick piece even. Yeah, look at that. Anyway, so I gotta try to salvage this for her. So that goes into what I'm doing for me. I have whole bobbin I did finished last night of these singles. So interesting story on this. So this fiber, I'm pretty sure it's Black Face Luster BFL, but I can't be positive because the lady who sold it to me wrote it down on my receipt and just put salt and pepper. And so I didn't think to write it down or memorize it because I figured she put it on the paper. Salt and pepper, what? Anyway, so I had 7 ounces of that, so I still have, so I have a second bobbin on here, and this is how much I have left to spin up of that, and then I will ply that together. And I have no intentions for it at all. Like, I don't have any idea what I'm going to be using it for. But I'm going to spin it, make it, and then have it, and then I can pull it out of my stash when I need it for something. So that is what I'm working on and spinning, and then after I get the, sorry, leaning down here. Let me get it out. After I get that one done, I am going to work on this one. You see how shiny it is? That be the silk. So I had bought yak silk mix to try at the same time. This was at a fiber festival in Idaho. They hold there was one in Idaho that I went to. I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, so I bought some fibers. That was quite a while back. So I'm going to spin that one after that and see what I get out of that. I think it's only 2 ounces. And so that's the spinning I've been up to and will be up to. The blanket I'm just trying to do a little bit. I'm okay with any progress. I'm just not okay if I come to a standstill. Don't come to a standstill. Waiting for the cool stuff I ordered. And okay. So I wanted to talk to you about thrift stores finds. I want to encourage people to look for crafting items, or any items for that matter, in thrift stores. You can get good stuff. I mean, grant you, yeah, you can dig through the bin and you're like, this is uncool stuff. So you just don't buy that stuff. But you can find some really good yarn purchases, materials purchases, fabric. You can find good stuff. And sometimes you find a sewing machine you want that you've been looking for. These things show up at the thrift stores, and they are for pretty decent prices. Sometimes they feel like you're getting a little overcharged and you're not getting much of a discount, but a little bit. So you just have to determine, do you want it that bad or do you not want it that bad? So I find a lot of my number 10 cotton threads there. And I find yarns there. I found wool yarns and stuff. I've seen fiber come through for spinning. I've seen bags of fiber come through. I have enough fiber to go a long way, so I don't need any right now or whatever. But you can find crochet hooks, knitting needles, tapestry stuff. I mean, you find stuff. So I know people, there's lots of people that have to craft on a budget. So craft on a budget. You can do it. Can you go decide you're going to make a sweater and then run over to the thrift store and find a sweater quantities of something? No, that's a very slim percentage chance. Is it likely maybe you might find a sweater quantity, but you don't have a project for it and you'll have to figure that out? That's more likely to happen than the other. So and then there are places you can get yarns and stuff on sale, and you can use whatever you want. I don't believe in shaming people because they only use acrylic. I don't believe that, we should get on people who can afford to buy the expensive stuff. I see lots of yarn that I find beautiful and I'd love to have, but it's not on my budget. Now, if I saved up and I were to hey guys, look, I got this $50 a skein or Hank fancy wool, yay. I mean, you save up for it. You have to plan for it. Doesn't mean you can never do it. I have never done that, but I'm saying it could happen, right? Hoping someday that I can get it on sale for a better price. So yeah, I was going to show you an example, but that means I'd have to go and wander around and go find it. Not that prepared. So the next thing I want to tell you is I'm going to leave you with this. Podcasters that I like to watch. I don't even know if they're called podcaster. I don't know what this is called. It's called people making videos that I like to watch. So there's Grumpy Sheep, Happy Llama. I think they're from Canada. I enjoy their videos. And there's Jude Harper, who is Stranded Dye Works. There's Wool and Wishes. Love them. And then there's Flannel and Pearls. He's great. He's over on Instagram, and people convinced him to come over to YouTube, so enjoying that. So those are the 4 I'm going to present this week for the podcasters. And I felt like I was really rambly today, but it's been a long week. I've had PT every single day, and I'll have it tomorrow. Might end up with it next week. Just a lot of stuff, and then I still have to work and things. So, all right. So that's it for now, and I will try to talk to you next week. I might throw in a short video. Maybe not. So have a great week, and talk to you later.